Welcome back, friends. This is Solomon Jagwe. I'm back with another quick insight, and today is an exciting day because Simulan has finally been released. I've been testing this product for a long time, and many of you have been wanting to use it. But it's an amazing VFX platform, and it's available for iOS currently. It's not yet available for Android. For those of you with Android phones, I think let's just keep our fingers crossed. Hopefully, the team at Simulan will be able to provide us with version like that. But this is the iPhone version. And when you go to simulan.com, you can see it right here. And there's a link to the App Store. When you click on that, it shows you the version. And you can see some of the screenshots over here. It shows you. So the way it works is that you use your camera, your iPhone, you load Simulan, and then you're able to scan the environment wherever you want to create your shot, right? And then you use a 3D model that has animation on it, place it in that environment, and essentially shoot the environment as if you are a cinematographer. And Simulan is able to record the animation, but it also offers you the ability to scan the lighting within that set so that you can use that lighting when it's time to render. It also gives you the ability to scan the environment using LiDAR scan on the iPhone, and preferably iPhone 12 and higher. And I'm currently using the iPhone 14 Pro Max. So let me show you what it looks like on my phone. I'm gonna bring it up over here, just a second. So the way to find it, this is how you install it. Go to the App Store on your iPhone, and then go to search over here, type in Simulan. Click on Simulan right there. And if you scroll down, you're gonna see it right here as the top option. So if I tap on it right here, if you have not installed it yet, then there will be an install button over here. And then you may need to double tap on the right hand side for it to be installed. But once you install it, and it's really easy to use. So let's go ahead and open it. And this is what it looks like inside, right? So what you see over here, for example, this example that you see on the screen, the user or the artist was able to scan this environment, right? And create a lighting, a lighting file that you can see it reflected in these models. But the camera motion is all you as you're recording the camera, as you're walking around with the iPhone. It's like really being like a director of sorts. And so this environment right here had to be scanned in the office as well. So on the phone itself, if we go back over here, I'll show you some of the things that I've done. So you've seen a number of the videos that I've done with the dancing robot. It's because I've been using Simulan. I've said it many times. I've even shared a tutorial in the past. But when you first come to the home tab over here, you're going to see that there's you can explore and find some assets that are already, that come with the system. So you don't have to buy these ones, but you have to give credit when you use it. And then you use the desktop version to upload some model for yourself. So I have this opinionated robot right here. This one I was able to create with my teammates in Maya and then rigged in Character Creator 5. But you can see the character right there. Now, if the character is too high resolution, you're going to have artifacts like this. So I wanted to point that out. So make sure that you optimize your model as much as possible. And then at the bottom here, you can see the different animations. If you tap on this icon right here, you can have multiple animations that you add inside of Blender, right? So this model came with animations, and anytime that you see a model that you've uploaded, it will have an icon in the left top corner over here to indicate that it has animation or if it doesn't have animation, right? So this is my library right here. I even did Adam. I think this is a character from Unity, and you are able to add multiple animations and then add this character inside of a 3D environment in your space and then have him walk around, right? So if we close this, the way the process works is that you go to the middle tab right here, this icon, tap on it, and at the very top, you're going to go into the scenes tab. And this by default, let me actually go to my account initially. So this is your profile that you set up right? And everything that you render, or if you upload something to the community tab, it will show up here. But in the asset tab is where you add the different assets, right? So over here, you can go to explore, find the ones that are supplied, use some of these, or upload yourself. The ones that you see uploaded in here were added using the desktop version. So make sure you install the hub, the Simulan hub, on your desktop so that you can upload, and make sure you log into your account, because once you log in, the models will show up on the iPhone over here. Now, when it's time to create, go to your scenes tab over here, press the plus button, give it a name. You can just say this is a demo, and then choose whether you want this to be auto rendered. My recommendation is turn this off, because if you do auto render, the moment you finish capturing your animation, it will render it. But you don't want that, because you want to be able to choose like maybe a smaller version, like maybe a 2K, to test to see if the animation looks good. And then when you're ready, you can do 4K. And then, so this is a trial version, the full paid version, because if you go to the website over here, when you scroll down, there's a free trial at the bottom, right? So that free trial gives you the ability to try it out. And then there's also a tier for $30 a month, right? And you get about 1,000 cloud assets and commercial use for individuals, 1080p. And so you can see the difference between the tiers. 200 a month, again, if you can afford that, try it, because this is the best value, I think, at least in my opinion. But you can also try the pro version, $50 a month. And this, the value of Simulan is that you'll be able to create content that you can use on your YouTube channel. And this is not AI, guys. This is VFX. You're using your iPhone and the Simulan app to record the content that you've either modeled or you purchase somewhere online, and then put animation to it and then use it in it. So you're essentially creating like a scene that you can then create like shorts from to use in your short film, your cinematic, or even like for Reels, for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can even have your friends appear in the Reels, because it supports occlusion for human beings in the shot. So if I go back here, I enable hub editing because I want this scene to be available inside of Blender. And there's a tutorial that I've done in the past that I will link in the description of this video that walks you through that whole process. And then you can save the map, the world map. This makes it possible for you, after you've captured the lighting in the environment, to then reload that same scene. As long as you're in the same location, you don't have to rescan the lighting, unless if the window is open and you chose like maybe natural lighting as opposed to artificial lighting, then you have to rescan the environment. Okay, and then when you're ready, just press next, and this is where you select what kind of setting it is. So the scene that you see in the background here, that was an indoor scene with lighting that's supposed to be coming from the window. And so that will be an indoor scene. If you're shooting outside, then you would have to do like you select outdoors, because then you want to use the sunlight outside, and it will ask you to identify where the sun location is, and then it will calculate the lighting from that. So right now I'm going to do indoors, go next. And this is the part where you get to choose what kind of lighting it is. So if it's natural lighting, it's going to be lighting that is coming from a window or a door. And if you choose artificial lighting, that's the light that is inside of your office, for example, or a hallway or a lobby in a hotel somewhere, or your room. So I'm going to do artificial lighting for now. Press next. So this is my desk right now. Okay. And it's initializing. Once it is initialized, then it gives you the ability to be able to scan the environment, right? So I'm gonna start scanning, just a light calibration. And once you set the scene, make sure that you don't move away. So I'm gonna set the scene right here, set the position, scene, and then it gives you the ability to scan all the way around until the whole sphere is filled with environment. Okay, so let me do that, and then let me pause this real quick. Right, so once the lighting scan is done, Then it will go to the next stage, which is the LiDAR scan. And enables you to scan the environment where you want your objects to sit. So for example, if I want something on my desk right here, and this is the area that I want to scan right here, and let me make sure that there's enough lighting in here. So if you turn on the light, make sure you rescan the lighting, guys. Don't forget to do that, okay? So this is the area that I want to scan. Let's continue. If you're in a large area, then it's better to use instead of LiDAR scan, use the ground plane. So it will be this one right here, the next option over. But if you want to sit something like on the desk over here, then you need to do LiDAR scanning. So if you're in an office, in your desk, or somewhere in a room, even if you're on a basketball court, make sure you use like LiDAR scanning if you want to really have the ball, for example, go up and touch the rim and things like that. So continue. And then it's going to start scanning. So again, make sure that you get a good phone with a good depth camera to be able, or LiDAR scanning rather, to be able to support this. So it's able to scan this and give you like a really nice like foundation or ground plane for you to use for your models. Okay, so once you're happy with that, press save the scan, and then it will go through and process it. Okay, and this is where you get to add the assets. So you could add your own asset or something from the library. So like click on the add icon here. So in the library over here, you can see these different models. So let's pick this little Roxy that you see on the screen right there. And we're going to put Roxy. So click one time and click a second time and click continue. Okay. So let's tap right there. And then if you hold down with two thumbs, or rather with two fingers, you can rotate the model like this, so you can change the direction. You can also just use single finger to move the character around and rotate a little bit so that you get a nice glimpse of light. And if you tap away, you can click on deselect over here. Click on deselect, but you can also click on scale 1:1. And then you can also rescale that. So if you want him to be bigger than that, then you need to make him like 1:1, or you can scale him up. Like right now, I can scale him. I'm using two fingers to scale the character like that. And then for the animation tab here, you have different animations. So you make sure that you use your finger again to scroll through. There he is, the little guy is walking or running away or bouncy run, and then default animation. So I think I'll do the look around. That will give us an idea to see how the lighting is working. Then when you're ready, press save. Make sure you save your scene with your character in it. And you can add more than one character, guys. It doesn't have to be just this one. So under the tab over here, if you want him to have like maybe an egg, just go through and see if there's something fun that he could possibly, interact with. If it has animation, if it has that little animation tab to the top left hand corner, then you'll be able to add a character with animation, right? So maybe he wants to drink some coffee. Let's put some coffee on the table. And we'll put the coffee right here. Now, if there's animation, if this scene was created in Blender and you have some effects of the steam, it's supported. It supports special effects in it. So press save and then press deselect. So now we have our scene. So you can shoot it vertical, or you can turn the camera and shoot it this way. Right now, even though my tab didn't change orientation, the camera's changed, right? So you'll be able to shoot as HD and you can zoom in and out like that, or you can shoot vertical. So if you're doing like a reel for maybe TikTok, shorts for YouTube, and reels on Facebook, then you can do this like this. When you're ready, you can go to the photo section over here, and it has some really cool icons over here. So this one right here enables you to do depth of field it will be able to autofocus on the character. And this one right here makes it possible to have human occlusion. Like if you have a person in the scene that is interacting with an environment and you have the 3D character there, you have the ability to occlude the human being. And then this one enables you to record your microphone, or just select an audio file from input. Right now, I'm not really talking in terms of the character, but if you're doing like an interview of sorts, then you do that, right? And then you can do HD or not HD. You want to have to shoot this in HD, all right? So let's take the first photo so you can see what I mean. We can take a quick photo. And this photo is going to show up here in the cloud. So I'm going to tap on the cloud, and there's no cloud jobs over here. Let's go to the renders, and there it is. So you have one take at 1080, which is the shot that I've just done. So if you had selected auto render, this would be automatically rendering. But if you have this on your desktop, if you've already installed on the desktop, and let me see if I can actually show you that. This is the desktop version that I was referring to. So in the scenes tab over here, you can see all the models the different environments that I've recorded in the past. But the one that we named demo is right here. And this is the photo that we've just taken using the app. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this little icon right here and choose to 720, which is like it's a simple render, because you want to wait until you've reviewed the render before you then press 1080p, right? And so 720, and it's going to cost you 59 credits. Go ahead and render that, and then wait for it. So if you click on this tab right here, you can see the progress, and it's going to start by building the scene. And when it's done building, then it will render, then it will package the still shot, and then the still shot will be available for you to use inside of the iPhone, which you can then upload to your Google Drive or somewhere, or share it in your photos, and then be able to take that to Photoshop or import it into Premiere, Adobe After Effects, wherever you want to use. While it's doing that, when it's done rendering, it's going to show up in the render tab over here. But until then, it's going to show up as cloud rendering on this side. The good thing is that you can render this on your desktop as well, right? So the scene that we're looking at right now we're in tech workflow, but you can also switch to your scene, to the scene workflow over here. So a single blend file built from the latest scene version, text are individually loaded into the scene, and the timeline is shifted to line up with the loaded text. Recommended if your scene is constant and your text represent different capture angles. So this is important if you want to just take the entire scene and then render it inside of Blender by yourself. So you don't have to wait, or even you don't have to use your credits in Simulan. Okay, so right now I'm rendering in the cloud, so that's why I'm using this one right now. Okay, so the render is done. So if you click on it, you can see the character right there. So isn't that amazing? Look at the depth of field, right? So that's what I was saying, that always just render fast, show like a small version of this, and then when you're happy with it, then you can do 4K rendering. But you can also render on your desktop. But look at how well it's able to capture the shadows, and the shadows are also falling on the cup. And that's the amazing thing about Simulan. It enables you to make like amazing VFX. So just like you see this is as a still shot, you can then also record an animation, and it will show up as one of the texts over here, right? So let me go back over this side. Okay, so we are back here. Let me click done on the app. So our character is over here. We've just rendered a quick photo of him. But now we want to do an animation. So switch to video over here. This is the video tab, and then click on record, and then just be ready to record and hold. Make sure your finger is not in the frame, right? Make sure it's down at the bottom because that will mess up your shot. And then when you're ready, press record, and think of always what I do is I start off on the ground plane and then transition into the shot so that the lighting is captured much better. But also don't forget to click on this button right here, tap on it for focus and choose cinematic and click done. So you see that little icon right there in the center. This is the center of the focus right here. Okay, so let's go ahead and record a short animation of this little guy. Let's now do 1, 2, 3, action. Zoom in real quick. Look at him. Look at the coffee. Look at our monitor over here, and then go back to him. And then you can even get close and then press stop. When you're ready, go ahead and click on that icon right there to say you want that text. And that text again is going to show up over here as it's being processed. So it's uploading the captured data to the Simulan servers. And once it's done, click done over here. And then we're going to go back to the desktop version again. So you can see the next text has shown up also. And it will have an indication that the type is video. It's 1080p at 1080 by 1920 because we showed it in portrait mode. So over here, if you click on this, then you have this option to render 720 and it can show you the credits. That's why I say please always remember to render just the 720p tested, and then when you're happy, you can then do a final render. Okay, and then we're just going to do single pass and click render. And again, up here in the top right corner, you can see the processing. It's preparing this, and when it's ready, it will start rendering. Again, just keep in mind that we are in the tech workflow over here, but if we were in the scene workflow, then we'll be able to download this scene and use it in Blender. So in Blender, you can even add other objects in it. And again, there's a new workflow that I'll be able to show through. There's an older video that I recorded, but this is the interface has changed since then. So I'm definitely going to have to do an updated version of that tutorial. So, but overall, this is how it works. Like if you're just doing cloud rendering, guys, this is how you're going to be able to use Simulan and then be able to access the renders on your computer as well as on your iPhone. So I'm going to go back again over here. So the renders are going to show up over here. So when I click on renders, it's show me this. It's going to show you the render. And then if you click on it, it gives you 3 icons at the bottom over here. And one of them is just the assets that were used in this particular scene. And if it's something that was taken from the marketplace, the Simulan marketplace, then it will show up over there. And you can click away, and if you click on information, it shows you the information about the scene itself, how big it is, what kind of format. And this was a still render at 720p PNG, and then the aspect ratio, right? And then you can just slide this down again. So that's the same way you're going to do for video. Once the video is done rendering, you do the same thing. So I think that's a quick run through, guys, of how to use Simulan if you're using the cloud rendering without using the desktop, or rather without rendering directly inside of Blender. You can render using your phone and be able to create something like that. It's pretty impressive. And again, there's a free trial for you to use, but you can also pay to get additional units that you can then use to render more shots. So the amount of units that you have will also dictate how much you can render in the cloud. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for joining me today. This is an exciting day to see that Simulan has finally been released. Thank you so much, Simulan team, Divesh and team, guys. You've done an amazing job. So I'm going to continue testing this and sharing with you the processes, and you can see how cool this looks. It's amazing. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today again. If you're new to my channel, do please spare a minute to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're alerted when I post a new video. And to all my patrons, thank you so much for your support, guys. I truly appreciate it. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.